starting.
So what is your name?
Eddie Johnson.
What branch of the military and military duties/jobs were you in, and what years did you serve?
I was drafted October the 6th of 1969. We boarded a bus here in Crisfield, and I took my physical at Fort Hollenberg in Baltimore, and I left that day for North Carolina basic training at Fort Bragg. I took basic at Fort Bragg, and then I went to Seattle, Washington to Fort Lewis for my AIT. For me, it was advanced infantry training. Everybody else had advanced individual training, but we had infantry training. And I left for Vietnam. I got to Vietnam on March 10th, 1970. I came home January 19th, 1971. Came home with malaria. That's how I got home.
Did you serve in combat?
Yes, I was infantry. My MOS was 11B. They call it 11 bullet stopper.
What experience from your service would you like to share?
I don't want to go back.
It's okay.
The place stinks. You smell fish and you smell soy sauce. And to this day, I do not eat rice or soy sauce. I will not eat either one.
What citations, awards, or honors did you receive while in the service?
I'm trying to look it up. I gotta find Vietnam. There it is. Now I gotta have glasses. You want my awards, or how about Vietnam chronologically first?
Just your awards.
My awards. All right, I gotta get out of this then. Get out of that. Get out of that. Vietnam. There's my DD-214. Can you read that?
So what awards did you get? Like, did you get, like were there anything specific?
Yeah, I got a bunch. All right, I got a National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal with 2 Bronze Service Stars, Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal, Bronze Star Medal with V device, Expert Rifle, Army Commendation Medal, Combat Infantryman Badge. All right, now I can give you the, let me get out of, let me get back out of that. Let's see what the next one is. All right, there's all the places in Vietnam that was sprayed with Agent Orange. Mm-hmm. I was to 3 of the 5 most heavily sprayed areas.
Oh my. So, what impact do you think the military had on your life?
I grew up. I had to. I didn't have a choice.
What age were you when you went into?
I turned 21 in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
I got a hot fall staff for my birthday, which is a beard.
Oh.
Okay, here. I highly recommend Spec 4 Edward Johnson to be promoted to Sergeant E5 at the first opportunity. He was transferred from the 9th Infantry Division with the insufficient time for promotion. While with this unit, he was a squad leader, which is an E6 position, and performed in an outstanding manner, demonstrating high leadership ability and bringing credit upon himself and the unit. It is not possible to promote him in this unit because of the shortage of allocation due to the impending stand down of this battalion. All right, now as far as the next one, you want to read it into it? Huh? I'm tired of reading. You want to read it?
No.
No? Can you read it?
Sure.
All right. There you go. See, I run out of breath. Yeah, start here. Where paragraph.
Okay.
I run out of breath. Easy.
For heroism in connection with military operations against a hostile force, Specialist Ford Johnson distinguished himself by heroic actions on 30th of September 1970 while serving with Company D, 4th Battalion's 9th Infantry in the Republic of Vietnam. On the date cited above, elements of Company D were established in their night defensive position when they came under attack from a large enemy force. When the attack was repulsed, Specialist Johnson were voluntarily accompanied
Where you at?
right there,
Reconnaissance element.
a reconnaissance element that moved through the contact area. Seeing a wounded enemy clutching a hand grenade, Specialist Johnson quickly warned his comrades. With complete disregard for his own safety, Specialist Johnson immediately moved to the enemy soldier and secured the hand grenade. His valorous actions contributed immeasurably to the success of the mission. The bravery and devotion to duty exhibited by Specialist Johnson are in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, the 25th Infantry Division, and the United States Army.
Very good. You get an A for reading. That's what I did that day. Every day is different.
Yeah.
All right, when I started in the 9th Infantry Division, we were in the Mekong Delta. Have you looked at a map of Vietnam? It's all the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom. And it's wet. It rains every day at 5 o'clock. So you're hot, sweaty, stinky during the day, and then it would rain at 5 o'clock, and you would go through the night wet. So you froze to death. As hot as Vietnam was, it's one of the coldest places I've ever been because I went through every night wet.
Yeah.
Either you were wet from the rain or you were wet from laying in water. All right, he's got a map there of Vietnam.
We need this, he was all over.
See, I was everywhere. I started in the way south and went north.
Whenever you zoomed in.
With every unit, I went further north.
DMZ. And you were doing.
We gotta have one more page.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Let's do this, we've been riding over the years.
Okay, Canto, Mito, Benlux. Saigon is here, so I'm south of that. I did get to Saigon once in my life. I forget what I was doing. I was injured or something on sick duty and I had to drive the general. At the time I was drafted, there wasn't a whole lot of people with college education. I had 1 year. So they made me a Jeep driver. I could read and write and understand directions, so they made me a Jeep driver. In basic, or AIT, I forget which. Anyway, Saigon is up here. Cu Chi's right to the east of it. That's where I was with the 25th. Tay Ninh should be up here somewhere. New Ba Dinh. I don't see it. This is the first map I've looked at in I don't know how long of Vietnam. Tay Ninh's over here somewhere, or up there or here. I don't know which.
Just Tay Ninh.
Tay Ninh, alright, that's the Black Virgin Mountain. We had the bottom and we had the top. They had the middle with tunnels.
Okay.
You could not walk from bottom to top because it was booby trapped. I don't know how they got in and out, but they did it. I don't know how. I did climb in one tunnel while I was there.
Okay.
Scary,
Yeah.
very scary. Our medic started out as a conscientious objector. Do you know what that is? It's one that will not carry a rifle or weapon. He started as a conscientious objector. After 3 months, he carried a pistol. After 5 months, he carried an M16 and a pistol. We needed the firepower. Let me go back to why you read that one. Okay, now let me give you Vietnam chronologically.
Were there U.S. military stationed on these islands, or was it just all?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask somebody in the Navy. We were air mobile, which meant they could get you in by helicopter,
Yeah.
but you had to walk out. They give you an LZ. You know what an LZ is? Landing zone. They give you the coordinates of a landing zone. That's where they said they'd pick you up at 1,400 hours or so. And that's where you had to be if you wanted to ride home that night. Okay. I got in country March 10th. I was at Benluck in the Mekong Delta. Rained every day at 5 o'clock. Right, that's March 10th. By May 10th, people back here in the United States were arguing about Kent State. You need to look that up. Kent State. There was 4 students that got killed for protesting in the Vietnam War. Why they didn't send them with us, I don't understand. Right, June 10th, Ken Selby and Gerald Smith were wounded in action. June 17th, Harold Price and Lieutenant Widows were wounded in action. June 18th, Larry Kalinowski, wounded in action. He tripped a booby trap and lost a leg. I tripped a booby trap on June 22nd, walking 3rd Main. Alright, that means that you two walk out the door and don't trip it, I come behind you and trip it. Which shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Whoever was first should have either found it or tripped it. Well, they didn't. They stepped over it, didn't see it. So I found it walking 3rd Main. I was carrying the radio that day. We were out of people. And I was carrying the radio, and it weighed 26 more pounds than what I was used to carrying. So I was dragging my feet. And I was hot, and I was tired. And I drugged my foot, and I felt the wire go across, and I hollered. Everybody went down. Hopefully nobody was on it, and we weren't. But it was our fault for hitting it. There was a pond here, bomb crater here, and a bomb crater here. Our objective was over there, so instead of going around them, we went between them, and it was booby-trapped. Americans will take the shortest cut. I don't know what that did. What have I done now? There it is. I went back to Walking Point the very next day and found 3 without tripping them. And we did some awful dumb things. If there was a booby trap on that side, well, you know what a rice paddy is?
Yes.
Alright, it's got a dike around it. That's what we'd sleep on or walk on a lot of times. Alright, what would happen, Charlie, who's the enemy, would set up here. If the dike's this way, right where this crease is, he would stand over there and shoot at us. Well, when we jumped on this side of that berm, it was booby-trapped. He knew what he was doing. He had plenty of time to set all this up. And you never knew who was your enemy. You never knew. Okay, the ARVNs. Do you know who the ARVNs are? Armored Republic, Vietnam. There's one supposed to be on our side. They ambushed us while we were in boats one night. Said we were VC, which is Victor Kong, which is Charlie, which is the enemy. You got 2 enemies. You had MVA and you had Charlie.
Why Charlie?
That's just what we called it. Just what we called it. Gook, Vietnamese. I guess that's impolite now in this day and time, but it is what it is. They ambushed us while we were in boats, and we killed 8 that night, and never suffered a casualty. I had a high explosive round. I was in the water. High explosive round land right beside me, and did not go off. It went on down to the bottom and settled. Did not go off.
So you were very lucky.
I'm very lucky, very fortunate. Right, on July 3rd, Dan Cadillac, Richard Moxley, Dave Gillespie, Rick McCormick, Grady Slatton, Arnett Johnson, and Larry Jatho were injured, wounded in action. All of them at one time, one hit. And William Dorsey, who was our medic, was killed in action that day, saving Dan Cadillac. I went through basic with Dan Cadillac. I went through AIT with him. We went on the same plane. We did everything together. He was from Minnesota, I was from Maryland. And we grew great friends. So he got hit that day, and Doc Dorsey died saving him. He lost a leg right from the get-go. They were in a boat, pulled up to a dock. There was a tripwire there hooked to a 500-pound bomb. So they got beat up pretty bad. July 10th, I was selected to attend Combat Leaders Course, class number R42-70, from July 26th to August 2nd. I did not attend because we didn't have enough replacements. Mid-September, the 9th Infantry went home. I went to the 25th Infantry, which would be, this is the 9th. This is blood over water, is what we called it. This is the 25th. It's the electric strawberry or tropical lightning. This is the 1st Cav. This is the yellow. This is the line that's never been crossed. The horses have never been rode, and the yellow is the reason why. That was our nicknames for them. So I was with 3 different units. September 30th, bless you. September 30th is when I got the Bronze Star with V device with the Manchus, which was the 25th Infantry. I remember, this is interesting, I remember no names of any soldiers I served with in the 25th Infantry.
Yeah.
Or the 1st KF. I was like zombie mode, I guess. I just did my job, and that was it. November 7th, we found out the 25th is going home. I got my letter about the E6 position on November 13th. November 20th, I was in Company B, 2nd of the 7th Cavalry. Look that up when you get time.
So I have a question. Why did you go back?
I didn't. See, you all thought that when the 9th Infantry came home, we came home. The only thing come home was the flag. The soldiers went to another unit. When the 25th came home, their flag came home. Soldiers went to another unit. So we didn't come home in between. I didn't go 3 different times. This was all one tour of duty. I remember no names of any soldiers or names of the fire bases when I was with the 1st KF. I took R&R in Australia after Christmas. I caught malaria there on the way back to Vietnam, and I came home to Walter Reed Hospital. So I left Maryland, went to California, Hawaii, Guam, Wake Islands, Vietnam, Cambodia, Vietnam, Australia, Vietnam, and then Japan, and then Alaska, and then Chicago, and then Walter Reed Hospital. So I had been all the way around the world in my tour of duty. And I came home January 19th of 1971.
Thank you for sharing with us.
What other questions you got?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
You got pass?
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to
Anything else?
put down that would help people understand the war and how you felt and how you were treated?
Oh, treated when we got back was terrible.
Why?
Because this country was against that war. Look up Kent State, May 4th,
Yeah, I've heard about
and look that up, and you'll find that the turmoil going on in this country affected Vietnam. Because we were doing a good job in Cambodia. We were sitting right on the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
that. Yeah.
We were doing good. We cut his supply lines back, cut them out completely. And then the people back here found out we were in Cambodia. The voting people in the United States found out, the citizens found out we were in Cambodia and wanted us out.
Yeah.
But if we'd stayed in Cambodia, we could have won that war easy. Because we had them broke. We had their supplies stopped. They would have had to Chu Hoi. Chu Hoi means give up. What other Vietnamese? Do you know any Vietnamese at all? None? Look, Mok Hai Ba Bom Num Sao Bai Tom Chin Mui. Andy Dow's where you go. Dunye is what's your name?
And did you learn all that while you were in
Yeah.
Vietnam?
Yeah, yeah. And it's still with me 50 years later.
Yeah.
Nook is water. Nook Dow's headache. Boxy is doctor. Boxy Day is liquor. It's a strange language.
Yeah.
And they emphasize certain words when they say it. It's hard to understand until you get used to it. Because they talk low and then loud and then fast. It would be like me now trying to understand complete Spanish from somebody that's been raised speaking Spanish. It's just too fast for me now. Then I could keep up, but not now. The oxygen, the VA would not give it to me. I went to my family doctor the same day the VA turned me down for oxygen and got oxygen. Since then I've lost almost 35 pounds. I'm exercising at least 3 times a week. And I'm much better health now than I was a year ago. But none of it's credited to the VA.
What's the VA?
Veterans Administration, that's supposed to take care of soldiers when they return home. I do have PTSD. I do have COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. From tripping booby trap and watching people get killed, the day that boat, July 3rd, hit that booby trap, 500-pound bomb, yeah, all that comes back. I do take medication for it, and I can sleep through the night now. But for years, I could not sleep through the night. Now, I still wake up like 5 o'clock this morning. I said, I'm okay. I went back to bed, went back to sleep. But that'll never go away. In other words, the scars that I have on the inside, you can't see, but they're never going away till I'm gone. I would not go back, even on a tour to do whatever. I would not go back. I saw a lot of country, saw a lot of stuff. An LZ, a landing zone, when the helicopters come in, there's usually 4. The first one swoops down, picks up what he can pick up. And if he has too much, the pilot will give somebody the thumb to go back to the next one. Next one comes in, next one comes in. They keep thumbing them back. Well, that last one's got to take everybody, regardless of how many it is. He's got to take everybody. You do need to learn how to read a map while you're young. We had a lieutenant that could not read a map, called artillery in on us by mistake, but now it didn't get past the marking round. You always send a marking round first, and then it's fire for effect or cease fire. Repeat is never said on a radio, because that means do whatever they did again. You say again. You never say repeat. They didn't call the radio a radio then. It was a RTO, radio telephone operator. And we all did it. We all carried it one time or another. The M60 weighed about 26 pounds or 23, I don't remember now. It was heavy. I never had to carry that. I wasn't big enough. I carried ammo for it.
That's a machine gun.
Yeah, it's a machine gun. I carried 2 rolls of ammo with it. I carried an M16. I carried a shotgun when I walked point. I carried an AK-47 upon occasion that we had captured. I carried an M79 grenade launcher, which is thump, pow, just like that.
Yep.
The trouble with that is the ammo weighs a half a pound each shell. And for me to carry that, I had to take 100 rounds of ammo, which was 50 more pounds. And I just couldn't do it through the mud. We were in the Delta. It was muddy. It was muddy. What else did I carry? Oh, an M72 Law, which was a plastic gun, so to speak. It's about that long, stretched out to here. When you stretched it out, it was fully loaded, armed, and ready to go. When you opened it up, a sight would pop up. It had 3 tanks on it. I don't know why they ever put tanks on it. I never saw a tank. But it had 3 tanks on it, and you would use this hand, looking through it this way, use this hand, 4 fingers, to set it off. Now, whoever's behind you, directly behind you, is going to get killed too. So you had to make sure nobody was behind you. Right, we use Claymore mines a lot. Do you know what they are? You all got mess to look up, ain't you? Claymore mines.
I know.
You got a cell
mine
phone?
are.
You got a cell phone? You got your cell phone?
Yeah.
Let me have it a minute. Alright. These would be Claymore mines pointed at the enemy. Okay, you would be the enemy. Now, as long as you have them tilted in on the outside, their back blasts would take care of each other, nullify each other. But what Charlie would do is, in the middle of the night, he would turn this around, like so. And then he'd go out there and holler at you, and when you click the clacker, it would blow them against you. So we learned how to booby trap them while we set them out. You put a grenade underneath, pulled the pin, but didn't flip the handle. Then you set your Claymore on top, so that when Charlie picked it up, it went boom. And we knew he was there then. Charlie was the enemy. That's what we called him. Everybody had Charlie. Some of the Army was fun. It wasn't bad marching and singing. I didn't mind that stateside. Now, you didn't do that in the field. When I was E6, I never had any problem with drugs in the field. In other words, I was the boss of that group, of that platoon. I never had any trouble with drugs in the field. And the reason that was is we had a soldier at the very beginning. Sweet Tooth was his name. He was on drugs one night. We were in the rear, pulling guard duty at a base somewhere, and we got mortared. Well, when the first one landed, it landed outside his hooch, his house where he was staying, and he saw the colors of it, said it was pretty, and ran outside. Well, the second one came, a U-shaped piece of metal, decapitated him. That's the first man I ever put in a bag in pieces. There's nothing I haven't done. I'm 68 years old. There's nothing I haven't done. There's a whole lot that I've done that I shouldn't have ought to done throughout life. But there's nothing I haven't done. What other questions you got?
No more.
No more?
No more.
You both gonna pass? You two? You're awful quiet.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Did I share enough? Too
Yes.
much. You can cut that off and then we can talk. I'm full of it, ain't I? Huh? Now, look at your shirt. Great Smoky Mountains Pigeon Forge.
Yep.
I was there Thursday.
Wow.
I was there from Sunday to Thursday.
I've never been. My mother got it for me.
I went Sunday to Thursday. We had a Vietnam reunion. There was 12 soldiers and 12 women. So it was a pretty good time. It's good to see the older people, the other people. And we even had one of them's wife come this time where he had died this past year. She came.
Oh.
So that was very nice that she felt comfortable enough to go with us. But we had a pretty good time. You gonna cut that off?